Talent Director, Greater St. Cloud Development Corporation, Gail Cruikshank, joins me now. Hey, Gail, good to see you.
Good morning.
All right, so today we're talking about, are you an employer of choice? Okay, you'll have to explain, what does that mean?
All right. Well, as everybody knows, it is a job seekers market right now. So I just looked this morning, and there are over 7,500 jobs on our JobSpot portal. So granted, job seekers can have their picks. So somehow employers need to stand out. They need to be the preference. They need to be the employer that a job seeker says, I want to work there because of this. And I think many employers have figured that out, but some are still thinking they can just post and pray is what people always will say. And you really need to identify, how can you be different? How can you stand out so that job seeker is saying, that is where I want to work?
Okay. Do you have some ideas as to how they can stand out?
We do, absolutely. I think the largest part is if a job seeker looks at you and they see strong leadership within the organization, if they see opportunities for advancement, if they see competitive pay, you don't always have to be the highest, but you need to be competitive in your industry within the region. They have to see that they're doing meaningful work. You know, are they doing something that makes a difference? Are they allowed to make decisions? Are they allowed to really take their role and run with it once they're trained and ready? You know, and then does it have an attractive company culture? Sometimes it's not all about just the position you're doing, but it's the feel that you have within the organization when you're there. Does it feel inclusive? Does it feel welcoming? Do they give you lots of things to do in addition to your role? You know, are they doing company activities? Do they have benefits that are attractive to you? So there's a lot of things that go into it. And the real key is that there's not one size fits all. Every industry has different triggers that make them the employer of choice.
If you're an employer, how can you illustrate to a job seeker that you have a positive work environment and it's not a toxic work environment? I think all of us have probably seen both.
Right.
And maybe something in between. Probably most of them are in between. But if you're an employer, how can you do that? How can you try to convey that to people that are seeking jobs from your company?
That's a great question. And I think some of the couple of things that come to mind first for me are through your social media. Every company has a website, or are they communicating either, you know, in any form through social media, either through recruiting, say on LinkedIn, more that professional site, or on, you know, social media like Facebook, Instagram, all of that. I think you need to be present in that social atmosphere. As everybody is, you know, doing that scroll at the end of the night just to see what news is on social media, if you are showing up as that employer and you're showing your employees doing great things, you're illustrating, you know, what's going on, you're having, you know, inside pictures of what your company looks like, I think that's key. The other thing is your employees are your best recruitment tools. So if your current employees are happy, they're out promoting the company, no matter if you know it or ask it of them or not. So again, even if you have an employee referral program, you know, that's going to, again, get those employees to think about who's like me that would be great within our organization. They're likely not going to recommend somebody that they don't think is a good fit for the company.
If the company does like team building activities or charitable events, or they go and do like a Night at a Rocks game or something like that, is that the type of thing that's an example of a good work environment or an attempt to get to that?
Absolutely. And again, the biggest thing is ask your employees what's the most important to them. What do they value the most? Because you might be surprised. You know, sometimes what you and I think, oh, this will be cool and everybody will want to go. Well, they might think it's not a good idea. So it's really critical to really have a good connection and interaction with your current employees to say, what benefits mean the most to you? What would you like to do for engagement activities? You know, as you and I were speaking before we came on, our worlds have changed a little bit. So maybe what was important, maybe a big, huge event, isn't as important anymore, but maybe they value something a little bit more intimate. You know, maybe it's within their subgroups of their team, or allowing them to volunteer out within the organization is a huge benefit right now. And again, through the pandemic, it was kind of interesting. Volunteer efforts were even up because people were so interested in giving back, whatever it looked like. If it couldn't be in person, maybe it was remotely or, whatever the option might be. But people are hungry for giving back to the community too. And I think that's something that our employers need to keep thinking about, because it's not just what happens within your building, it's what happens outside of your building throughout the community that you become known for and helps identify you as that employer of choice.
Gail, I'm curious if the jobs that went to a lot of remote jobs, if they stayed remote, and if that's the case, how are those people feeling about either job security or just their work environment that they have?
What we're really finding is that employees are preferring to stay remote if they can. And that's becoming, again, that one of those elements of, is that a benefit that your company can offer? Even if you want to bring your employees back, can you somehow do some form of hybrid? Can you allow them some remote ability? Because we learned a lot that we can work pretty darn effectively remotely in some cases. Now, some jobs cannot be remote. They need to be physically on site. But if you have that ability to offer some sort of hybrid, that's really been that ideal spot to be. We all want some interaction, but we also love what we learn through our remote work. So employees are wanting to stay remote in many cases if they're given that chance. So that's something that employers just need to be aware of.
Do you know whether or not remote jobs are being filled faster?
I don't have any specific data for that, but I sense that because we're hearing a lot through a lot of the material that I read, there's employees that are actually leaving a company to go to a different company that offers that remote environment. So I think that that's very attractive right now. It allows that autonomy. They're really, again, if you give clear direction and have measures in place to judge people's performance, it's really a great opportunity, and you need to try and do that as an employer.
The draw might be different for everybody, I suppose, but I suppose one of the benefits could be you could live anywhere.
Right.
And then maybe childcare costs would be less if you have kids.
Well, absolutely. And again, as you and I were talking, with this many jobs open in our region and more to come, we need to attract people to our region. We can't just keep taking one person from one company locally and moving them to another, because that's not helping our community. We need to attract more, and that's a great way that you can do that. A lot of our companies are finding some great talent they don't live here. They live in a different city, but they're able to engage with all the systems that we've all created and a great addition to their team. So I think that's really the key to growing and, again, retaining our post-secondary talent that continues to come into the market is another opportunity for us.
Do you know if it's a St. Cloud issue that we just don't have enough workers for the area?
No, it's throughout.
Throughout the world.
It is.
Nationwide.
It is. And again, the other part of what's happened with the pandemic is we've gotten a number of our older workforce are deciding just not to return. So we're having that issue. And then we've got a lot of students that are not working in the workforce, meaning high school students and all those entry-level jobs. So we're kind of feeling it on both ends. So we need to maximize that workforce that we do have.
Is that why there's just a lot of part-time jobs that are out there? And it's full-time too, though, right?
Actually, we have more full-time jobs. Primarily our employers here, they have full-time opportunities. If you get into the hospitality and that sort of thing, then there's maybe a little bit more part-time just because of their flexibility of work schedule. But again, we need to look at anybody that wants to work, and we need to find the right fit for them just because of our growing economy that we have here.
Do you think because we do have all those full-time positions out there that job seekers are now needing to look at those and say, you know what, even though these are the qualifications they're asking for, I'm just going to apply anyway, just in case, even if I don't have those qualifications?
They absolutely should. And usually what I tell people, don't feel if they have 6 qualifications on there, I have to meet all 6. I would say if you meet 3 to 4 of them, absolutely apply, because, again, that employer is looking for the right fit within their culture. They can train you some of those specific skills if you don't come with everything that is listed on the qualifications. But it's that work ethic, and it's that attitude, and it's that fit within the organization, which they're really looking for.
Are we kind of at the point where it's beggars can't be choosers?
That's right.
And some employers are beggars right now, and they're going to have to be, lessen their demand as far as what they're looking for.
Well, they do, and they need to be willing to provide training and opportunity to get those employees the exact skill level they need. You can't have somebody that checks all the boxes. You need to be open to looking at new type of employees, new type of, maybe it's trainings that you need to offer, because it can't be a plug and play. You have to be really willing to work with your employees, because not everybody's going to have absolutely every skill that you want.
Do you think that whole signing bonus thing that is being offered out there for some jobs is going to continue? I mean, I guess it's difficult to speculate on that, but I would have never thought that would have ever happened, and it is.
It is in some industries, and I'm hearing really a mixed bag, because some people say, yeah, that's great and that's appealing, but is that really getting you the employee that's dedicated and wants to stay, or are they going to get that bonus, get on board, and then leave shortly thereafter?
And then go and do the same thing again.
Yeah, exactly. So again, it's the culture that keeps them. So if you can attract them, then make sure you have that culture in place within your building to be able to want them to stay, because that's really the key.
Right. Time goes by fast, Gail.
It does.
It always does. And I know we didn't touch on everything you had here. But if people do want to find out more about job opportunities, and there's a ton of them,
there is.
What should they do?
Well, there's two things I'd like to share. For if they're looking for job opportunities, really, I encourage you as a job seeker, get started, because there is lots of opportunity. Even if you've been out of the workforce a while, there's over 7,500 jobs on JobSpot. So you can go to stcloudshines.com and you will see all of the jobs available, as well as all the great reasons why you want to live and work in the St. Cloud region. In addition, employers, if you're looking to learn more and get more resources about how to recruit and retain, go to our GSDC website at greaterstcloud.com. We've got lots of tools and resources for you to help in that recruitment and retention initiatives.
Excellent. Gail, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Gail Cruikshank, Talent Director, Greater St. Cloud Development Corporation, joining us for our Get a Job segment.